everybody, I'm Elizabeth from the Autoimmune Free Cooking Club and Total Wellness Health Coaching, and I have a super simple, wonderful, amazing dessert recipe for you today. I think you're really going to love it. Okay, so ignore this. Just pay attention to this, okay? We're making a paleo caramel sauce, and it is so simple and so fast. Now, why would I make a paleo caramel sauce instead of a regular caramel sauce? Well, a regular caramel sauce would be made with granulated sugar and a lot of times corn syrup. We don't want any of those kinds of sugars because they're real inflammatory and they tend to spike your blood sugar, send you craving more and more sugars and unhealthy foods. But if we use some of the more natural sugars, in this case I'm using a combination of maple sugar and coconut sugar, you don't get that same spike in your blood sugar. The taste is amazing. Maple sugar or coconut sugar compared to white granulated sugar, there's really like no comparison. It's awesome. If you don't even care about your health and you just want to make the best tasting caramel sauce, make this caramel sauce. We have very simple ingredients: a half a cup of maple sugar and a quarter of a cup of coconut sugar. If you only have one or the other, you could use all of one of those. I just like the combination of the two, and it's my recipe, so that's the way I wrote it. And then there's a half a cup of either heavy cream or coconut milk. I have coconut milk today because I had a can that was open in my fridge. So I have a half a cup of coconut milk. Actually, it looks like a little bit more. That's okay, we'll have a little bit more caramel sauce. This is a super forgiving recipe. So my sugar is in here. I'm about to put my milk in, and I have 6 tablespoons of unsalted butter, which, yes, I called this a paleo caramel sauce because you can use ghee, which is the butter oil, or you can use a palm shortening or a coconut oil. Or if you can tolerate some dairy, a lot of people who tolerate a little bit of dairy do really well with a good quality grass-fed butter, which that's everybody in my house. So we're using the grass-fed butter, but ghee would be my second choice because it also still has a really great flavor. But you could use the palm shortening, which would have no flavor, or you could use coconut oil, which would have a little bit of a coconutty flavor, but it would work in the recipe. It would be fine. Now I'm having to reach over a little bit because this cord is super short and I cannot find an extension cord that has a little 3-prong thing. So I'll just reach a little bit. This one, it would be nice if I were just a little bit taller. Already it looks amazing. So all I'm going to do is cook this until it boils and thickens. I'm going to remove it from the heat. I'm going to add in a teaspoon of vanilla and a quarter of a teaspoon of salt. You could, and I have done this, and it is delicious. That's why I'm telling you to do it. You could make an orange caramel sauce by adding some orange zest. Replace some of the coconut milk or cream with fresh squeezed orange juice. Add a little bit of cinnamon, and you have this cinnamony orange caramel, which is almost beyond words. Delicious. You could add a little extra salt, and it would give you more of that salted caramel flavor. You could add some cocoa powder, and you could have a chocolate caramel. I think caramel is awesome, and I would not do that personally, but if you are somebody who likes the chocolate and caramel combo together, it works, and it would be very good. What might you do with this caramel sauce? Well, if you're having a bad day, or maybe you just need a moment, you can take a little dish of it, or the whole bowl of it, whatever makes you happy, and a spoon, and go to your closet and eat your caramel sauce. And I think it will make you happy. Or you could serve it over ice cream. You could serve it over cake, like an apple cake in the fall, or maybe sticky toffee pudding, which is this amazing almond flour and date cake with warm spices. And I happen to have one in my Instant Pot right now. The cake is delicious as it is, but a lot of people will serve sticky toffee pudding with a caramel sauce, so this is a caramel sauce that I recommend. But I wanted to make it in a separate video because it's so good for so many other things. You could like dip cookies in it. I have a graham cracker recipe, paleo graham crackers. All of these things will be delicious, okay? Can you tell I like caramel sauce? So I just have my heat on low. My sugars are melted. I can tell they're melted because when I stir, there's no graininess, okay? It's starting, is it starting to boil? I thought it was. Maybe I was just stirring vigorously enough to make it bubble. No, it is starting around the edges. I'll be right back. So you just want to let it simmer just a little bit to thicken. If it cools, let me see, how long do I say to do it? 3 to 4 minutes. Cook until bubbling rapidly, stirring regularly until thickened. In the sticky toffee pudding video, I was talking about how it would make a great holiday dessert because number one, it has that taste. It's the warm spices and caramely. It's just perfect for Thanksgiving or any kind of fall get together or Christmas. And it is so good a few days later. So it's a perfect recipe for making ahead of time. And the caramel sauce, just the same. Make it, store it in an airtight or a sealed container in your refrigerator. The caramel sauce will thicken a little bit once it's chilled, and you're going to want to heat it up to serve it on your warm, heated up sticky toffee pudding. So whether you do that on the stove or in the microwave, just heat your sauce just a little bit and it will be perfect and pourable again. So this is all there is to it. Get it in there, boil it just a little bit. You don't want it to burn. I'm using a flat whisk because it's like a spatula and a spoon and a whisk all in one. I feel like it mixes really well, but yet it'll get into the corners of my pot. I don't end up with kind of burned things in the corners. Nobody wants that. You can test the thickness of your caramel with the wooden spoon test, where you will dip it in your sauce. I'm not going to use my finger because I know it's super hot and it will burn me, but you would use some kind of tool, another spoon, and draw a line through, and it's kind of hard to see on this wooden spoon. See if the line stays, and then it's thickened perfectly, and it wasn't quite there yet. You might just have to adjust your heat a little bit, turn it up to keep it bubbling, turn it down to keep it from bubbling over. Stand here and stir it the whole time. I think I saw this on Great British Baking Show. They were making jam. They would take the mixture that they are boiling and pour it onto a plate like this and wait, just a minute or so for it to cool and check the consistency that way. It does give me peace of mind to see it on the plate because I can see it clearly and see that it's not burned. So you can get a sense of the texture of it, the thickness. Just let it go for about 1 more minute. Okay. I think it's perfect. You can tell too by how it's dripping off the spoon. It's nice and thick. It's going to get a little bit thicker just as it cools, not even in the refrigerator, just cooling down. Sorry, I'm trying to move this stuff out of the way so you can see well. The only reason I have, I don't know why you add the salt later. Whenever I make recipes like this, you almost always add the salt when you pour it off the heat. So it's just what I do. Now I have been told by all the cooking experts, like on Food Network and America's Test Kitchen, those guys, that you don't want to boil your extracts, your vanilla flavor, that sort of thing, because it will just weaken the flavor. Do you call it extract or flavoring when it's pure vanilla? My pure vanilla. You want to have that as robust a flavor as possible. Now, normally I taste the nice dainty little spoon, but because I have this great big spoon here, I think I just have to take a great big taste. But I don't want to burn my tongue. Hot sugar is really hot. It's just about, I think, one of the best things I've ever eaten. I just love it. I'm not like a super sweets person, but really good caramel, that is right up my alley. So, whether you make sticky toffee pudding and use this caramel sauce to pour over top, or maybe your family just loves ice cream, you like to have an ice cream party, which we are mostly paleo family. My family eats a lot more ice cream than I do. It's like a special occasion thing for me. But there are very good dairy-free ice creams on the market these days. So when I say ice cream, understand that I'm really talking about dairy-free options. Pouring this over a pound cake, an apple cake, so many things you can do with a recipe like this in your back pocket. So I hope you will print this one out and hang on to it and use it as it starts to cool off and you need some caramel sauce in your life. Which frankly, if you are a coffee drinker, I'm thinking about like a pumpkin spice latte. If you're a flavored coffee drinker, this would make a great flavoring for your coffee, which my afternoon coffee is sitting over there waiting for me, so maybe I'll have to try that. Alright, thank you for joining me in my kitchen again today, everybody. If you're new here, welcome. I'm so happy to have you. I would love it if you would leave a comment, introduce yourself, let me know where you're from, why you're here. I would just love to get to know you a little bit. We're a really nice community. People are supportive and helpful to one another, and so we welcome you into that. If you like this video, please consider subscribing, liking, sharing, spread the word that good food can be good for you. Alright, have a great day, everybody, and I'll see you next time.